Long Island Boat and Fishing Show is back at the Nassau Coliseum, March 13th through 15th. Long Island's top dealers will be there with huge savings on boats, tackle, personal watercraft, and the latest electronics. This show has it all. Children will be entertained by Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel. Enjoy free face painting. Plus, on Saturday and Sunday, the first 100 kids get a free life vest, free parking all weekend, and Friday it's free Heroes Day admission for military and first responders. 3 days only, March 13th through 15th. Visit nyboatshows.com for details.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi! Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, joining us to talk about everything that's going on in Iran, let's go to KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump. KT, speaking of the politics, boy, I sit there and I look at some of the coverage from the Democratic Party. It's like it feels like they're undermining America. And yet if you hear from President Trump and Pete Hegseth and all those others, the results are extraordinary. 6,000 targets by the U.S. alone hit so far.
You almost wonder if they would rather the United States lose, the United States allow Iran to get nuclear weapons, than they would give President Trump a victory. You know, where are their interests? Because, look, what are the alternatives to doing what we're doing with Iran? Letting Iran get nuclear weapons. Where do you think those nuclear weapons are going to head? And where do you think they're going to be used as blackmail against the United States? So you've got to act. And the fact that President Trump has so carefully set this up from his beginning, the first week of his first term, sequentially, to weaken Iran, to bankrupt Iran, to take out Iran's nuclear facility, enrichment facilities, to take out Iran's, to prevent Iran from exporting oil, to take out Iran's communications capabilities, to take out Iran's proxies, to take out Iran's friends. Iran is now isolated. It's broke. It's in the middle of a war, which is losing greatly. And yet the media it's like the pro-Iran, pro-nuclear, Trump derangement syndrome lobby that they ought to just take a step back and think, what are they really trying to do? Do they just hate Trump so much that they're willing to sell America out down the stream? I guess so.
KT, Hezbollah, Lebanon, are they going to do anything, or are they going to challenge Trump, or are they going to chicken out?
Well, they don't have. First of all, they've been so greatly degraded; they don't have a lot of capability. Now, between Hezbollah and then the Syrian air defense systems, Iran had always conducted its defense. It had a ring of steel around it that other countries would fight Iran's fight. So it was going to be Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, the Syrians. Everybody was going to do Iran's bidding, but those guys are all gone. So who's rushing to Iran's aid? Well, not Hezbollah. Hezbollah has been greatly diminished, really their money source is dried up because Iran's money source is dried up. And the Israelis and the United States have so thoroughly decimated Hezbollah. But the other countries that are supposedly Iran's great pals, Russia and China, they're not doing anything either. Now, Russia supposedly is helping with intelligence. Yeah, but Russia's not doing anything in a military sense. They're not sending in ships. They're not giving Iran air defenses. They're just kind of watching. They're sharing intelligence, and they're making some sort of nice little sounds of support to Iran. But they're not really doing anything, in part because they're so preoccupied with Ukraine, and also in part because they're not sure how this ends. They don't know that they want to bank on Iran.
KT, it's some interesting stuff. Judge Weinberg, you were talking about France and Italy.
KT, there were reports out of Financial Times that France and Italy are trying to have side deals so they can get their ships through the Straits of Hormuz. Do you know about that, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, okay, so here's the problem. The Strait of Hormuz is mostly shipping that goes from Europe to the Middle East to Asia. It's not our shipping. It's not our oil. We have enough oil. Even though, we may import some oil, but it's effectively we have enough oil, especially if we move oil from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States. It's not our problem. It's their problem. But instead of joining with us, as they should, to say, okay, Iran, we don't want you ever to blackmail us again, ever to threaten to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to solve this problem once and for all. They're not sending any military help. I mean, I guess Macron has offered to send something after the war. As soon as America wins, they'll do something. But they're now trying to do their own side deals. It just, to me, is again, it's so feckless on them. They won't defend themselves. So what they're going to do is appease and ameliorate and then hope that they don't get caught in the crossfire, when in fact the Iranians would happily conduct terrorist activities on their land, happily have weapons that could reach their countries, but they just want to cut the deal. And that to me is it's just so disgusting that they want to cut their own separate side deal, save themselves.
And ultimately self-destructive.
Yeah, it is.
Ultimately very self-destructive, because what does it do? This gives Iran, and we've known it, I was in the Reagan administration when Iran tried to shut down the Strait of Hormuz as well. It put mines down. President Reagan blew up some of the ships, and he reflagged the vessels, so Iran, they piped down. This time they don't pipe down because they're in a much stronger position than they were 40 years ago. But instead of the Europeans understanding that this is a blackmail tool that Iran can use any time it feels like it, they are deciding that they're just going to cut their own separate deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, KT, thank you. It is really shocking to see some people folding like cheap suits when it's a major fight for that the world should be engaged in. KT, thank you very much.
Thank you, KT. We love you.
Thank you, KT.
Thank you.